listening to pause. We pause for a second or two. This is episode 166, Shades and Mosaics. All of us, in our own way, think about what kind of future we want for ourselves. We all have some ambitions. We all have fears, worries. We all have ambivalences about what to do. We all have problems, dilemmas. We all have a mystery. We all have things we do not understand. And all of us talking or listening right now are alive. So there will be something more after this. And a week ago, when we got the election results, regardless if you are a political person or a person interested in politics or not, it undeniably, the sort of feeling to our Western world changed a week ago with the results. In some senses, it feels like a different world today than it did just a week ago. Like the rules now are changing, like the name of the game now is changing, at least to some extent. So right now we are in this first period of time trying to figure out how the world now is changing, in what directions the change will go. So all of us right now are sort of shifting our weight between our two legs, so to speak. We stand on our individual leg, how we feel about the future as persons, and then we must shift our weight over to our collective leg and contemplate how now the world is changing, how the rules are changing, how we organize as a group of people. And then back to our personal leg, and then back and forth like that. That is what we must do right now. If we want to be both a person and part of the group, that is what we must do. It's sort of what life is about now, this in this transition period of time from one set of rules to another, or partly another. Today's episode is called Shades and Mosaics. And today we will talk about these two metaphors, these two images, the images of shades and mosaics, to find new ways of looking at our situation right now. This sort of difficult, ambivalent situation we are facing right now, between how to be a person, an individual, and how to be part of a group, a collective. We want to be both. So today we discuss a tool of sorts, a skill of sorts, to find some perspective on this problem, or this challenge or mystery. The Polaroid for today's episode, the emotional skill we're talking about in this context, is specific skill LAGOM. Specific skill LAGOM is under our long-term situation. It's for whenever we think about our future, worry about our future, are unsure where to go or what to use as our compass. And lagom is a Swedish word designating when something feels just right, when something feels just enough, when it does not feel too much, but it does not feel too little either. That is lagom. It's an adverb that when we find our way, when we feel that we are on the right path, the path feels lagom. We're just right. So to use our two images or metaphors in this context, every person, this is true for me, and this is true for you. Every person needs to make sense of his life, of her life. And the way we make sense of our lives is by doing two things. And we do these two things simultaneously. The first thing we do is concerning our first image, shades. The first thing we do to make sense of our lives, to feel that we are lagom, that we are on the right path, is that we assimilate things. We mix things. We have two or more or less separate things that we, in our heart, combines. And feel in our heart that these two things are the same. We assimilate them. We create a shade between them so that we cannot for sure say where the one ends and the other one begins. They are assimilated into each other. They are one, but they are also two at the same time. There's a shade between them. There's a spectrum or a gradient. And whenever we feel that two things need to be assimilated, we will sort of look at the things as some sort of more or less blurry, shaded combination. And sometimes we just feel the need to do this. It can sometimes be quite inexplicable why we want to assimilate or shade two things. The second thing that we do to make sense of our life and feel that our life is lagom is that we make a clear distinction between two things. We create, so to speak, two tiles in a mosaic between two things. So then we are doing the reverse thing. There might be something that is quite shaded or blurry, but in our heart, we are making the two more distinct. We are separating two things and creating a mosaic out of something that perhaps before felt quite shaded. And then, when we do that, we get this sense of lagom again, because now we feel that something complex is easier to understand, because we see that over there we have the distinct first tile, and over there we have the distinct second tile, and they do not mix. They are not the same, they do not mix. They are side by side, yes. They are right adjacent to each other, yes. They might even share a border, yes. But they are distinct from one another. They are not the same, and it feels good in our heart to make that clear distinction. It feels good to make a mosaic. Our life feels more tolerable when we make a mosaic out of it. Why are we talking about these two images, these two metaphors today? Why are we talking about shades and mosaics? Every person, again, this is true for me and this is true for you. Every person at every given moment in life have both shades and mosaics in their heart, in their mind. So right now, I have a set of different things, people, phenomena, that I like to do shades between. I like to assimilate them, to mix them. And at the same time, right now, I have other things, people and phenomena, that I like to make clear distinctions between, separate into a mosaic. I do both, and you do both. We always do both. Some people do more shading than mosaicing, and other people do more of the reverse, do more mosaics than shades. But we all do both to some extent. One week has passed since the sort of rules started changing, since the results came from this election. And we are all right now changing our minds. Perhaps not about everything, but not about a few things either. As the collective rules change, and might even change rapidly now, so our individual shades and mosaics start shifting. So 1 week ago, perhaps I saw two kinds of people as two distinct groups. I saw them as a mosaic. 2 weeks ago, that made sense. Or 1 week ago, that made sense. But today, 1 week later, as the collective rules are changing, now I can feel that my sort of shades and mosaics are shifting. Perhaps now I feel that these two groups need to shade. They need to assimilate and blend, to cooperate in a new way, to make that 1 + 1 = 3. At other times, I might feel that I before saw a spectrum, I saw something blurry or something shaded, and I could hear myself say, oh, it's complex, it's not that simple. But now, 1 week later, maybe I'm starting to feel that, maybe there should be some distinction being made here. Maybe it is not that complex that I made it out to be. I'm doing both right now. I'm changing my mind regarding some things. And so are you. You are changing your mind right now. And it's okay. It is how it works. Once the group, the collective, sort of agree upon something, we have as a group right now agreed that this election is guiding, that the results are real. We have agreed upon that the rules now must change. And since we as a group have agreed on this, then we as individuals, as persons, must change. And what is now beginning to change is our shades and mosaics. Our sort of complete picture in our heart, in our body, in our mind, in our thoughts, is now beginning to shift. It is painful. It is surprising. It can feel quite dizzying often. And right now, it does not really feel LAGOM. It feels quite overwhelming. This first period of time, it feels overwhelming. And we are striving towards LAGOM. We are striving towards LAGOM. That's what we want. That's what we want. So the point of today's episode is not to be so harsh on ourselves if we feel that we want to make shades or mosaics out of things, people, phenomena. It's what is happening right now. And it will take some time. We will change our mind, sometimes quickly and sometimes it takes a long time. Some things move fast, other things move slow, and everything in between. So we pause for a second or two and know that we are both shades and mosaics at the same time. And we are always changing, sometimes quickly and sometimes slowly, and sometimes both at the same time. That's it for today. Thank you.